Dzisiaj mam dla was jeszcze jeden odcinek po angielsku, jak rozmawiam z Arią Martelle. Nie wiem, czy kojarzycie Arię, ale ona ma swój kanał na YouTubie, Aria Martelle, i Aria jest pół Polką, pół Amerykanką i ona mieszka w Polsce i nagrywa filmiki o swoim życiu. Niedawno byłem w Krakowie, gdzie Aria mieszka i po prostu się spotkaliśmy i nagraliśmy odcinek po angielsku, jak chodzimy po mieście i po prostu tak gadamy ze sobą. To jest w stylu podcasta. To mam nadzieję, że wam się będzie podobało i też oczywiście będziecie mogli poćwiczyć wasz słuch z angielskim językiem. Wiem, że ludzie często oglądają mój kanał przez to, że chcą się nauczyć coś z angielskiego, to tym razem zamiast uczyć was jakieś słówka, to po prostu pokażę wam, jak to wygląda, jak normalni Amerykanie ze sobą rozmawiają po angielsku. To zapraszam.
In movies it's pictured that it's like these groups of people that are different, like they're the nerds, they're like the mean girls.
Can you hold this?
Sure. And stuff like that.
The nerds and the mean girls.
So it would be just interesting to which group, you know, I would belong or something like that. And I also wanted to be always a cheerleader. And I feel like American schools are just like, they really engage in activities, especially after school activities, and they're taken seriously, like sports, music things, and like people are really competitive at school with stuff like that. So that's why I always wanted to go to an American school, because things are taken very seriously when it comes to, like, you know, your hobbies and your career and stuff like that. So
well, I never did any of that stuff, and I was not a cheerleader either. Although you can be a male cheerleader, actually. I don't know if you know that.
well, I've heard. I mean, you have to have male cheerleaders. I've seen them because, you know, they have to lift the girls and stuff.
Yeah, and they like, I don't know,
they have
like
to do the hard
like
work.
they like basically touch their butts a lot, I think. You know, because they're pushing them in the air by their butts. So, you know, the male cheerleaders always got made fun of, but they were just like, yeah, the joke's on you suckers, you know, like we're over here with all the girls, you know. But
the male cheerleaders are like strong. Like they're all muscle. I mean, it might sound funny you're a male cheerleader, but you're like a freaking bodybuilder. Mm-hmm. You gotta lift like 10 chicks and like throw them in the air.
yeah, pretty much. I was never, like I said, I was never involved in any like activities, just because I don't know, I wasn't very cool. Like I just didn't really, you know, so I wasn't the most confident. No group. I moved a lot. So when you know, the longest I lived anywhere was 5 years as a child. So for me, I spent half of my high school in one place, and then half my high school in another state. So, and then when I moved to the high school, I moved from another city. So I started high school in a new town, and then halfway through my high school, I moved to another state. So, like, I didn't know anybody. Like, you know, I don't know.
I bet the first day is tough. I mean, in any school, in any country, because it's like awkward. You want to do a first good impression, you want to stick to the right group, and in the beginning you can't really, you know, detect who is about what, you know?
Yeah, I feel like I just wasn't, like, I was just very shy. But yeah, I was never like, I never really fit in with like anyone. I just, what do we have here? Some old little things here.
What's it called? What is this called in Polish? I always forget the word. We just saw it in the coffee shop.
Spinki or something?
Zapinki?
Zapinki?
Yeah,
chyba. Yeah. So pins, I guess. Yeah, I was just saying like how in high school I didn't really know. I don't know, I just wasn't very confident in high school. I think moving around didn't help, you know? So, is there a quieter street we can go on?
Yeah, we can continue the conversation just at the end of the street.
Okay, because I feel like this is a little...
towards the towers.
Yeah, but can we go on a parallel street that's not, or are they all loud?
Yeah, we can just go left.
Okay, great. Yeah, so, you know, like I said, I think just my high school was not, I didn't have many friends at all, actually. I was just friends with the people in my neighborhood, the people who more or less rode my bus. So that was my high school. I remember where I lived.
Let's cross the street here.
Like, it was really funny. Like, where I lived, most of my friends my age, most of the kids my age where I went to school were black, and I was one of the only white people. And I remember sitting with them during.
I'm surprised to hear that.
Yeah, and then I remember we were having lunch at the lunch table, and they were making fun of white people. They're like, oh, white people this, white people that, and they were like, yo, man, wait up a second, Dave is white, and they were like, nah, he ain't white, he Polish. And I'm like, what? I thought that was like the whitest.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
But that's what we were talking about yesterday. Like, America's very obsessed with race. That sometimes, like I was telling you yesterday, from a person that, as a person that moved to America as an adult, I was afraid that I'm going to accidentally offend somebody in some way, because I know that in America a lot of people take things very personally. So yeah, I don't know, in Europe it's just a lot more laid back. Like,
about race? Yeah,
like, I mean, I don't know, like,
I don't know. Do you think that's true? I feel like people. I think there's a lot of. I think a lot of places don't like immigrants.
Depends.
And I don't mean white immigrants.
True.
They don't have a problem. They're not like, oh, those damn Americans are coming to our country and taking over. And they're not saying that.
I mean, in Poland we definitely have this situation with Ukrainian people. Like, a lot of Polish people are negative towards the Ukrainians.
Yeah.
That is true. And they are also, you know, white.
But I think, like, less so than, for example, other cultures. Like, I don't think Ukrainians get it as bad as, you know, immigrants from, let's say, Middle Eastern countries.
Well, you see in Europe, like, people won't be rude to a Ukrainian person straight in their face. Like, from what I hear, people of color in America. That way.
Okay.
Yeah. And from what I hear, people of color in America have a lot, like, have a hard time, you know, in just normal everyday life. That situations happen that are very inappropriate or very sad.
Yeah.
And in Poland, like, people won't be rude to a Ukrainian person, for example, or a person of color straight to their face, but they will, you know, talk jokes about it or talk about them badly. Sometimes, I'm not saying all Polish people, we're just talking about a particular group of people that have an issue, because, you know, in every country you'll find such a type of, you know, such a group of people that are negative towards people from different countries or a certain race or whatever. So yeah, so no, like, straightforward bad interactions, but behind their back.
Yeah, I think it probably depends where in the States, right? Like, in the North is probably more like that. Like, the North is pretty, like, segregated, actually. A lot of people don't know this. Oh, look at this cat. Hello, cat. You want to be part of our video? That's a cute cat. I like cats.
What is this, like, a code to...
I guess it's for, like, Airbnb.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah. So what do you think about, I don't know, how do you compare, you know, obviously we're in Krakow and you live here, and I live in Warsaw. How do you compare the two cities?
Well, Krakow is a very artsy city.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. Krakow's got a soul. It's a city of kings and queens. And, you know, it's a great base. Like, I grew up here, so I obviously love it. But it's a lot smaller than Warsaw.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Definitely when I went to Warsaw for like a day or two, I didn't really like it for a very long period of time because people are a lot colder there, a lot more distance if you don't have friends there.
Okay.
For me personally, I think it's hard to get an interaction. People are just minding their own business. You can tell that, you know, life is moving fast there.
Okay.
People are, you know, joining the rat race, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Once I got introduced to Warsaw by a group of really cool friends, I really enjoyed Warsaw, and now I want to move there, and I think it's great and it's fun and it's such an amazing city full of opportunities. But if you are in the wrong crowd or a specific, maybe not the wrong crowd, a specific type of crowd, yeah, there are just so many people that are stuck up. They just want to talk about themselves and, you know, just all that like fake bullshit where nobody's vulnerable and everybody's putting on a mask and yeah, but you know, that can happen in any city, but Warsaw's cool, Krakow's cool. Right now I'd prefer to live in Warsaw just because I'm bored of the city, but I love it.
Yeah, I think like, I don't know. Like I said, I've moved around a lot as a kid, and
Which city do you prefer?
Out of the two?
Well, I mean, you know Warsaw better, so.
Yeah, I mean, right now I really like Warsaw. I love it. I think it's super cool. I mean, I just really like big cities, and so, you know, for me living in Wrocław a few years ago, that was like a big deal. I'm like, man, it's such a big city, you know. And
Wrocław's cool. It's kind of similar to Krakow a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. It's just more like the German version, you know, because the architecture, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. I like the names of places in Wrocław. They're always like funky and weird.
Like, what do you mean?
I don't remember right now, but like cafes have like weird names. I just remember that. Whenever I would go to Wrocław, I would just notice that.
I think my favorite place, like my favorite name that I saw in Wrocław was this little like small cafe that you pretty much couldn't even sit there. You'd have to take it to go, and it was called Smaczne Go.
Oh, I think I've seen it. Yeah. In the main market square?
Yeah, it's so stupid. But I like it. I like
it a lot.
A
really cool thing that I experienced in Wrocław, which you probably have as well, is the Jarmark Świąteczny, the Christmas market. It's the biggest Christmas market in Poland. Yeah. If you want, I can give you drone shots for this video.
Okay.
From the Jarmark. It's such a great experience. It's huge. And everybody's drinking grzaniec. And it's freezing fucking cold.
Yeah, it is cold. What do you think about bumper stickers? I feel like Polish people don't have bumper stickers.
No, it's definitely an American thing.
Yeah.
Just like trucks. Like, I haven't seen any trucks in Poland. I don't think.
What do you mean? Oh, pickup trucks?
Yeah,
right.
Pickups, exactly.
Okay, I thought you meant like the big truck. One thing I've noticed about the truckers here is that they always have like some flags in their windows. You know what I'm talking about?
Do they?
Yeah, on the front, they're hanging from like their windshield. They have these big like flags representing their country, or like I don't know what else they have, and that's like a thing that I've seen.
I have not noticed.
Yeah, that's definitely different than like truckers in the U.S. But bumper stickers, yeah, like nobody has any stickers in their car here. In the U.S., people love those things, or they're just like, oh, you know, my son is an honor student at this school, and you know, people are like, yeah, I don't care about your son.
I mean, people don't really put bumper stickers here on their car, except for like, I don't know, there's like a baby inside kind of a sticker, or I know there's a dog. Yeah. I don't know. No, that's like it.
Yeah.
They do it more like for information rather than for being cool.
Yeah, I remember I saw like a baby sticker or whatever. It was like on their car, but instead of saying like baby, it had the child's name, which is like Wojtek or something like that.
Yeah, and I was like Marysia's inside, or Wojtek's inside.
Yeah, and for me, I'm like, wait a minute, there's a baby named Wojtek? Like, I thought that was like a 90-year-old man. Like, why are you naming your child Wojtek? Wojtek, that's terrible. You know? Maybe, I don't know, maybe that's just my impression.
I mean, Wojtek's a pretty normal name, but Poland, I mean, like, probably like any country goes through phases where there are sometimes people that name their kids in like a more old school way.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes there's just a lot of Anias, Kasias, and Basias.
Right.
Which is fine.
I feel like Basia is also like an old lady name. Like if you're like
aunt's name.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're like a child and your name is Basia, it's like, I don't know. I would never do that to my daughter.
What would you name your daughter then?
I don't know. I'd have to like do some research. I don't know. It depends. It depends where I lived. But I don't think I'd want to name any
Polish name or English name? That's the question.
I'd want to do like an international name that works both places. Like for example, my name, David or David. You know, that works like both places. You know, any country, in fact. Like I think unless you're in like some Asian countries and then they're like, huh, David, or something. I don't know. But otherwise, no. I'd want to name some name that works at anywhere. You know, like I probably wouldn't name my kid something very Polish, like Wojtek or like Zbyszek or you know, something like that, or Maciej, you know, because
I mean, Maciek's a cool name.
It is. I'm not saying they're not cool names. I'm just saying that if they move to the U.S., people are gonna call them Magic. They're like, what? Your name is Magic? They're like, no, it's Maciej. They're like, Magic? No, that's not how you say it. So
how do you say Maciek in English?
I think it's Mark, isn't it? Or no, that's Marek.
Yeah.
Wasn't Maciej one of the guys who wrote the Bible?
You should not ask me this question publicly. I should know this.
Yeah, it's like Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So Matthew, no, isn't that Mateusz? I don't know. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I don't know.
I mean, Matthew is Mateusz, so.
Yeah. So I don't know. But either way, I thought Maciej was a biblical name, but I just don't know what it translates to.
I don't know either. So, fun fact, we are currently on the Plante, which is a park that goes around the main market square. So it's a huge green area, and it's really
why
cool.
does that kid look like he's from the 30s? He's like, oh, hello, Governor, would you like me to shine your shoes?
Either he has epic freaking style, or he just came back from like a play or something.
He has a shoe shiner.
He has better style than his parents.
Yeah, exactly. Or they made him dress like that?
Hold on. So, do you want to go to the main market square? Have you been to the Wawel?
Yes.
Do you know that there's a chakram there?
A chakram?
Yeah, chakram. Like place with like...
Is that where you line your chakras?
That's a place where there's a lot of like energy that boosts you.
Oh,
like,
really?
One of the seven biggest chakrams in the world is supposedly placed on the Wawel Castle on one of the walls. So you're supposed to like stand there and like touch the wall. And supposedly, you know, a lot of good energy is going to go inside of you or whatever. Because like a lot of people believe, I don't know if it's true or not, but it's like a fun fact, that there are certain places that take your energy away from you. You know how sometimes you feel drained in a certain place for no reason.
Like a government building?
Kind of. Or you can boost your energy, and there are certain places that you can boost your energy, and that's what chakrams are for. And I don't know, you want to boost your chakram today, or you want to...
I thought it was a room with chalk, so you could like write on the board or something, like a chalk room board. Yeah, so probably not. Yeah.
No? So you want to go or no?
No, I don't think we should go inside anywhere.
No, it's like dark. On the park of like...
Yeah, whatever. As long as we're outside and it's not loud.
We can do that.
You just lead the way. I don't really care where we go.
Okay.
So, I was here yesterday and I was recording a video about like how Polish people use the word burak to insult each other.
Yeah.
Or like cebulak or something like that. And I was like, what? But Polish people love buraki and cebula. Like, why is that offensive? So.
I don't know even how to translate it.
Right. It's like, you're such a beet.
Yeah,
you're such a beetroot.
I mean, sounds better to be compared to a vegetable than to be compared to something offensive.
Yeah, I said I'm a proud burak. I love buraki.
But sometimes we joke about it. We're like, oh, ale ze mnie cebulak, because I don't know, when you do something that's... Jak zrobisz coś, co jest takie cebulackie, no nie wiem jak to przetłumaczyć. I don't know, let's say, I don't know, you're being cheap, and you're like, oh, I'm such a cebulak today.
Yeah, but could you imagine, like, in America, like, no one's like, man, I'm such a hamburger, you know? Nobody says that. Because
it doesn't make sense, and in Polish, it just makes so much sense.
Right,
you know?
But, like, how did that even happen, that became that?
I have no idea.
Right?
It just became kind of like a saying, a meme, like something that evolved, I guess.
Right. So, but I personally love beets and cebula, you know, so I don't have a problem with it, you know.
Wait, let's continue.
Okay.
Oh wait, do we want to first view or first the chakram? Let's do the chakram first.
Okay.
By the way, it seems like everybody decided to go to the Wawel Castle today.
Yeah.
We're not the only people. We're being tourists. Let's continue. We're going straight forward. Like, the Wawel is just so monumental. I love it. And a lot of people get married here. I think.
Yeah, you mean at this cathedral?
From what I know, because I don't want to be spreading misinformation, but from what I know, you can get...
You mean at the cathedral?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always surprised.
Maybe it's just photos.
Oh.
I don't know.
I'm always surprised that anyone would want to be married in a church. That sounds incredibly boring.
I don't know. I don't want to have a church marriage, but that's probably because I'm just not religious.
But yeah, I remember one of my students asked me, we were talking about the sacraments, like communion and all the other stuff, and she's like, yeah, well, you got to have that to get married in a church. And I'm like, all right. And she's like, oh, well, you don't want to be married in a church?
And you also need to have bierzmowanie.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to have all four, right? So you got baptism, confession,
and bierzmowanie, 3.
Communion and confirmation. That's bierzmowanie, confirmation. So like, and she was like, oh, yeah, but you want to be married in a church, right? And I was like, no.
Look how beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually about, so we're going there.
Okay.
Heading there.
Yeah.
And actually about what you're talking about, when it comes to like, we can continue walking there.
Yeah.
When it comes to communion, I think it's ridiculous that kids that are 8 or 9 years old are supposed to, you know, decide whether they want to believe in God or not, because you don't know shit when you're 8 or 9. I think you can make such a, how to say świadoma decyzja?
Like a conscious decision.
Make a conscious decision about something like that, probably when you're like, I don't know, 15.
Yeah.
I think.
It's like, is it really you choosing it? So now this is like the spicy topic right now. Like, someone's gonna comment about this. But, you know, it's like, how do you, I don't know.
It's like as if parents want to send you as quickly as possible to communion before you can even think whether it's like what you want to do or not.
Or same thing with baptism, you know, people say, oh, well, what if my child dies before baptism? Then you'll go to hell.
It will go to hell,
like, I don't know if that's going to happen, but maybe, I don't know. I'm not an expert.
I think that since I don't remember anything happening before I was born, there was like nothing. I think there's probably, unfortunately, nothing after we die. But I think people of faith are a lot more happier and a lot more optimistic.
Are they?
I mean, not that I'm not optimistic, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they feel some kind of peace in their life, and I think people of faith are in general a lot happier than people that don't believe in something.
I don't know about that. I wonder. Yeah, I think some people might be, but I'm not sure.
Let's continue.
Yeah.
Because so the chakra is there. There's like this how to say? Gosh, like this kind of like this garden. I don't know. It's like a platz.
Like a courtyard.
Yeah, it's like a courtyard, exactly.
Yeah. The chalk room, huh? All right.
Chalk room. Yeah.
How do you say chalk in Polish?
Kreda.
Kreda, yeah.
Kreda, yeah.
So is that like, so I'm assuming it's not like pokój z kredkami, right?
No,
That's not. It's related to chakra.
I think you say chakra, not chakram. I think I said it wrong. Chakra.
Oh, so that's what you're saying.
Oh,
maybe chakram is multiple. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, we've got one, and supposedly it's the biggest out of 7 in the entire world.
I thought chakra was in your body.
I don't know.
Yeah, like you have like your heart chakra or whatever. Your I don't know, pelvic chakra or something. Yeah, that's a thing.
I don't know, but actually, do you want to hear something interesting? This is. Let's get out of here first.
Yeah. Too loud.
Look how pretty the ornaments.
Yeah.
Look, isn't this courtyard beautiful? So monumental, so huge. When I used to go to art school, I used to draw here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I recorded as part of my beetroot video here.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, this is where I recorded it.
So actually, this is a taboo topic in Poland when it comes to the chakra, because you know, since Poland is such a Catholic and religious country, the people
beetroot country.
Exactly. People don't want to talk about the chakram that are, you know, religious, because, you know, it's something that is, how to say, like pogańskie?
Pagan. It's pagan.
Pagan?
Pagan.
Yeah. So last time I was here, I was checking which wall has the chakra, and I could find, and I found information that there are 2 walls. So I don't know which one is correct. So we have to touch both.
Have to touch both. I don't want to touch anything because of coronavirus.
So the first one is here, and the second one. Hold on. Yeah, I believe it's right there at that entrance. Anyways, we're just gonna be touching random walls and.
Well, I don't want to touch it. I think it's inside of that man's ladder. I have to touch his ladder.
This is supposed to be the first wall.
Let's see. So there you go.
You should touch it.
I'm not gonna touch it. No.
You have to feel that energy.
I'm good.
This is the first wall, and the second wall is there.
I think that man was enjoying the chakra.
I think so too. I was like, low key, this is probably the wall.
Yeah. Or he was just resting.
Or he was just one of the people that works here.
Wearing that outfit.
There. Yeah, he just
he's
like
guarding the
a
chakra.
little bit.
He's like, hey, you guys have a ticket for the chakra?
Actually, when I was last time here looking for the chakra, I asked somebody where it is, and they were like refusing to talk about it.
Oh man.
Weird.
Yeah.
And it was an older person, so she was like probably like, I'm not going to be supporting this bullshit.
She probably didn't even know what it was.
I think she knows. So supposedly, I think the second wall is here, from what I know. Touch it.
Touching walls, part 2. Oh, I'm gonna touch it. It's dirty. It's covered with virus. People came and coughed on it.
I'm a hypochondriac and I'm touching the wall to live longer.
Yeah, because you exactly. So that's why. Because you're a hypochondriac. I'm
you gotta
good.
do what you gotta do.
I'm a regular chondriac, you know.
So that's it.
Yeah, I used to love this courtyard back when I was younger.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I just wish there was like stuff in the middle, you know? I wish there was like
a jacuzzi or something.
Or like, yeah, a jacuzzi. I was thinking more like a performance.
This is a perfect place for performances.
Like knights fighting each other.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, or like a guy dressed as a king, or like, oh, Beet.z.Ameryki or something. That's how I imagine it.
Yeah, that's actually true. Who knows? Maybe in like the medieval times they actually threw parties here.
I'm sure
this
they
looks
did.
like the place where you would dance.
Yeah.
Stuff. So.
Exactly. So have you heard about the different ways that Europeans and Americans stand? Have you heard about this?
No.
Yeah, so like Americans stand more like this, where their legs are out, and Europeans stand like this.
Actually, I was especially not moving while you were saying this to see.
Yeah.
I'm the confirmation of that.
Yeah. So that is the difference, yeah. So we tend to stand on one leg in the U.S., and Europeans tend to distribute their weight.
I do both.
Yeah. Makes sense, actually.
I do both.
Yeah. So that's one thing. Another thing is, of course, you probably know about the knife and fork. Are we going this way, or should we go?
No, we're going. Oh, the view. Yeah, right here. We're gonna go see the view.
Okay.
Of the Vistula River in Krakow.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go to the main market square, to the Mariacki Church, and we're gonna go on the tower where we have an even better view than right here.
All right, great.
Okay.
So
come tourist.
Yeah. So you know about, of course, you know about eating with a knife and fork, right? That's very European.
In America, people don't use a knife.
Not like Europeans do.
I think it just depends if you're at a fancy restaurant or a good restaurant. Like they're just certain. I mean, it's just easier.
Americans don't know how to do it. They've never been taught how to use a knife the way Europeans use it. It's just like some people don't know how to eat with chopsticks. Americans don't know how to eat like with the knife and fork the way Europeans do.
I haven't noticed that at all.
Yeah. So
besides, I worked as a waitress in America, and I've never seen that.
So you're saying that Americans hold the knife the whole time? They definitely don't.
I mean, it just depends on the food you're eating and what type of a restaurant you are in. Like, it's just easier. Just sometimes, just like for example, when you're eating pasta, you use a spoon because it's just easier.
Right.
Or when you're eating a steak, you have to use a knife.
Yeah. So, like for example, I remember when I was a kid, my mom made a point. She's like, "No, you're gonna like będziesz jadł poprawnie, nie będziesz jadł jak ci Amerykanie."
Did she put like a gazeta under your arms? Because this is supposedly a way that they teach. I don't know if this is bullshit or no, but supposedly this is a way that they teach kings and queens in the UK of like proper, a proper way to eat.
Okay. No, I don't know about that. No, it was. I don't know, but like for example, I remember we had a guest at our house once when I was a kid, and we were all eating. My whole family was eating with a knife and fork, and the American guy, he was an American guest, and he was like, "Man, this is amazing. You guys are all left-handed." So Americans, what they'll do is if they need to cut something, then they will switch hands. Bless you.
Thank you. Yeah. Coronavirus.
Yeah. So what happens is that Americans will if they need to cut something, they will switch hands and put the fork in their left hand and then cut it into little pieces and then put the knife down and switch hands and eat with the fork.
Honestly, I do that.
Huh?
I do that.
All the time?
Most of the time, yeah.
But you do know how to eat with, like, your left hand.
I do.
Yeah. Whereas Americans have never done that.
But I usually eat with my right hand and use the fork unless I'm obviously cutting something all the time. Then I just eat with my left hand.
And who taught you how to eat? Your mom or your dad?
Both.
Okay.
More my mom.
Right.
I guess.
That's probably why. Yeah. So, like for example, it's if you look at Polish people, they almost always.
Do you want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
So, now it doesn't really happen, but I remember how when I was a kid, a lot of the time when I would go on like school trip or I don't know, whatever. I would go to like a restaurant with pizza. Polish people would use a fork and a knife for their pizza.
Of course.
And I would be eating with my hands because like it's like finger food. Like,
or burgers. Like
I haven't seen that.
Oh yeah, especially when the bread is too thick.
I mean, I get it if it's like too sloppy or too hot. Like I've used a fork and a knife for my pizza just because it was too hot. Yeah. But like
so Polish, so European.
But I felt like so primitive on like that camp or something, or with that school trip when I was eating with my hands, and I was like, oh, screw it, I'm just gonna eat with my hands. Like that's the way you're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Weird. So we're gonna go there because that's the place with the view. Yes.
I remember my Polish friend was trying to eat ribs with a knife and fork. And I'm like, excuse me, what are you doing? Like, this is not, you don't eat it with a knife and fork. I don't know, is it just me or does it smell like homeless man on this bench?
Kind of smell like horses.
No. I was thinking maybe like some homeless, drunk Polish man. Yeah. No, I feel like he was just sleeping on here and his like scent, like just like soaked into the wood.
I mean, something definitely smells.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
You seem like quite the detective.
Yeah, I could smell a bum from a mile away. Yeah. I remember when I used to work at the gas station in the U.S.
You worked at a gas station?
Yeah, I worked at a gas station, and sometimes we'd get these like guys coming in that were like just working all day in the sun while also drinking alcohol. Ugh. And they just smelled really gross. But like I actually liked that smell because it reminded me of Poland.
I do not know how to comment that.
Isn't that terrible?
That's pretty terrible. Wow.
Yeah.
The smell of home.
Yeah, I was just like, ew, this is, wow, no, I don't know. This definitely reminds me of Poland, yeah. So, which is awful, but I think that's not true anymore. This was like back when, this was like what of my image of Poland from the 90s, you know?
Thank God.
So, no. Nowadays, I don't feel that way. But yeah. I think also a lot of my family members, like we're just like alcoholics in Poland, so that's what they smelled like. Yeah.
Those are some interesting memories.
Yeah.
I hope they got their shit together.
No, they didn't. Yeah, it's funny because like I have family in the countryside, in the village, and I remember visiting them in like 1995. And like, I was amazed. They didn't have a toilet. They had an outhouse, right? And to this day, they still have an outhouse. Like, they had money to buy, like, to renovate their house. And
priorities.
But instead they spent it on vodka, so.
But you know what? At least it's like pretty eco, to be honest. Waste free.
I'm pretty sure that's not why they did it, though.
No,
pretty sure they weren't like, you know what?
We
need to be. You want to walk?
Yeah, let's walk. That's why we came here for. And
okay.
I think we're about to get a shower.
Yeah. Well, that homeless guy who's sleeping on the bench could use one.
So right now we are in the largest green area located in the city center in Europe.
Yeah. Called
the Bonias.
Yeah.
A lot of people go for picnics here. They take their dogs on a walk here. They go bike riding, do active stuff. And yeah, that's the mound that we were gonna go on right there. There's one here, another one you see even further there. So it's a really cool, beautiful area. And on both sides of the Bonias, we have two different stadiums. One is the Krakowie Stadium, and the other one is the Wisła Stadium. And yeah, this is a pretty huge deal because there's a lot of drama going on between these two clubs, and a lot of people in the city are involved in this entire soccer scene. And from what I know, it's not only about soccer, it's also got some deeper...
Watch out for that.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a controversial topic, and people like get into really serious fights, like even die in them. So
I always wonder, like, you ever wonder like how these paths happen?
Just people walking.
Yeah, but like, have you ever thought about like the history of it?
No.
Yeah, that's what I think of. Like, I see these paths, and I wonder like who started it. Like, at what point, who was the first person who did this?
I have no idea.
And then, like, other people followed them, and at what point did it get, like, this level of sand, you know?
I don't really think about that stuff, Dave,
yeah,
you know?
that's what I think about in my life.
Well, I can tell you something interesting because I know that you like the Pope.
Yeah.
The Pope was here.
Pope. Maybe we should get out of the way.
And there were 2 million people on the Błonies.
Did the Pope do this?
I don't think so. I think it was probably carried by a crowd, you know. Like a, taki karawan.
Oh yeah.
Just like in ancient
I heard
Egypt.
he didn't like to be. I know he was like the first Pope not to be carried, I think.
Seriously?
Yeah, he was like against it. Yeah. He was against, so he like walked. And everyone followed him, and that's who started this. Actually, it's a historical fact. It was started by his
Maybe you're
followers.
right. Maybe it's exactly this path.
Yeah.
Are like so many people just wanted to walk where the Pope did, and this is how it happened.
Are we going this way too? Are we taking this historical Pope path?
Sure. Why not? Let's just go straight in the middle.
To mam nadzieję, że ten odcinek wam się podobał. Napiszcie w komentarzach. Dajcie kciuka do góry, subskrybujcie i też oczywiście nie zapomnijcie znaleźć Arii kanał na YouTubie. Aria Martelle. Zobaczycie w opisie linka. To dzięki, że oglądacie mój kanał i do następnego razu. Cześć!